Now that I have done so many fantastic advertising for CatDog in this MultiVersus stream, let's see how Tom and Jerry versus Bugs plays out. Zona versus Zona. Now,
He is currently, like, by professional players, seen as one of the better characters in the video game because he has a lot of like options that he can do with his rockets. He can use his save to zone out other moves, so it's gonna be really interesting. He recently received nerfs as well to his neutral air, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, Jerry is already dead, no matter what happens. But that was a
definitely.
fantastic use of up air just to do things against Bugs, and that was a great use of trapdoor. But they miss out on the rocket, and Tom is in a really bad situation when he's off stage.
And he gets the 40 damage gimp off stage like that. Just that spike move is just so good on Bugs Bunny. It's so pressuring. And Bugs really, I mean, Tom and Jerry really cannot do anything about that. It's just a really strong move overall, and you just need to adapt to it somehow.
Absolutely, and even before, just seeing the fantastic confirm of the Charmed for Bugs was just... It's definitely a really troubling situation for Nawoo, but Tom and Jerry can really make things back with some... Like, they have some really deceptively good normals in this game, and once they get set up with their zoning, it can be incredibly difficult to counter it, especially if you don't have like a strong projectile. But Bugs seems to be doing incredibly well, just sort of setting up their own particulars.
Yeah, definitely. Technocactus is doing really good on the Bugs Bunny, honestly. Like, he's zoning out his attacks. He's using those holes a lot as well, so he might actually have that perk on. We didn't really see what the perks were because the game doesn't really show us, but looking at how he's playing, he's not really using that kiss that much, so that means that he's probably not using that perk. But yeah, both are really at the same level of damage right now, but Nawoo still has the stock disadvantage, but...
Nawoo gets the kill, but
Nawoo gets the kill,
so they're not free, but...
Yeah. But the comeback is there, though. Maybe he's adapted a bit.
It's definitely going to be very difficult to come back against Bugs at this late in this game, especially if they're in a situation like now. Off stage is the worst place you can be with Tom, especially because, yeah, even his perk isn't great at sort of getting back on stage safely. So it's going to be all about just trying to see if, because from the looks of things, Nawoo has lost access to Jerry. So, oh, they just got him back. Never mind, and they lost him again. See,
really unfortunate right now, but he's trying to do some chip damage with those dynamites. He's trying to juggle them in the air a little bit, just trying to get that damage in because he really needs that damage. Oh, and he gets the DI wrong, yeah, and that's game one, yeah.
And technocactus, they can dash dance like the hell of it. It's amazing.
I'm looking at the replay right now, and it looks like that Tom and Jerry actually didn't die from that initial upper special, but
it's
he
probably
did some
just
kind
the
of
jump
move.
before.
Yeah, I think he did some kind of jump, he reacted to it, and he actually suicided there. So, probably really unfortunate, but let's see.
It's definitely a bizarre ring out system in MultiVersus in comparison to other similar platform fighters, where you have a lot of platform fighters that do allow you to go on stage, and as long as it's not an attack hitting you above, you can still survive and potentially even stall, which can play a part into some character playstyles within games like Smash Brothers and Nick, and presumably other games as well. But MultiVersus, it'll kill you no matter what. So I feel like that's where a lot of player deaths, when they're scrambling to survive after being sent off, will come from early on. Just people still getting used to the fact that you can die off the top when you're still trying to save yourself. So it'll be interesting to see how people get used to that, if they do get used to that, because it will definitely be weird, sort of like unlearning such a common thing in platform fighters.
And by the looks of it, it doesn't seem that they're switching off their characters. They're still committed to Tom and Jerry and Bugs.
That's fair enough.
Technocactus doesn't really need to switch because he still got the advantage over his opponent either way. But it's going to be really interesting to see if Nawoo can honestly do better this game, because it looked really rusty, honestly. He looked like he got a lot of damage. And it looks like it's going to be the Finn.
It's going to be Finn.
And he locked in Finn, yeah. So he's trying out new characters, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing so. I mean, I guess if you win set 1, you don't need to worry so much about... you know, you can be a little bit more experimental with game 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it'll be interesting to see how Nawoo handles it. I don't know if they're going to be sticking full Tom and Jerry for the entire tournament, or if they might want to try someone new anyway, regardless of the switch on technocactus side. So it'll definitely be exciting to see how Nawoo handles this.
Yeah, but yeah, Nawoo really needs to do something with his perk choosing probably, because Finn's a combo-based character. He's doing like he can do a lot of combos. He can deal really good off stage. So, but the gameplay doesn't really change that much. Like looking at Bugs Bunny and Finn, they're both really like oppressive characters that can do a lot of damage really early. And killing options are really easy as well for both of these characters. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Maybe Nawoo's gonna switch to a different character. Who knows?
It'll definitely be interesting to see if Nawoo does have a counter pick, but I feel like getting to see a character besides Bugs will be definitely exciting to show just the full potential of Nawoo's zoning capabilities with Tom and Jerry, because they're definitely a character that it can be harder to find actual info on in comparison to other mainline characters that might have gotten a bit more notoriety in MultiVersus early on. So, because the majority of what I saw in Tom and Jerry at launch and pre-launch was mostly just, hey, did you see the thing where if you try to do the jab with Tom and Jerry, Jerry runs out the way?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. And it's cool and all, but it doesn't help if you're trying to learn them. So,
alright, but it's looking that like technocactus is still gonna... Yeah, Tom and Bugs again. So he decided, nah, I'm not gonna play the Finn. Maybe I'm just gonna practice my Bugs Buddy. Who knows? Or maybe he's like a little bit scared of the Tom and Jerry. Maybe
I feel like what we just had was like a connection error. So that as a result, we had some issues coming in, and that's why we saw the Finn. So maybe now we will get to see just the rerun and see how Nawoo handles Techno's Bugs. So game 2. And already Techno just wasting no time in setting up safe, but a great confirm off of the paddle ball into up air for Tom.
Yeah, currently playing out really slow, but honestly, Nawoo really needs this because he needs to somehow change up his playstyle. He needs to zone a bit more. And with knowing his character, he can't really play it that much aggressive. technocactus doing good with those combos, honestly, just pressuring Nawoo into making some kind of plays.
Absolutely, and I feel like Techno has also been really good at punishing Nawoo's usage of Jerry as well. Like, just there, I feel like coming out of holes so close to the initial entrance point was just so they could just kill Jerry as soon as possible, because without Jerry, Tom is such a negative character in comparison to the rest of the cast.
Yeah, definitely. But looking at the damage right now, they're both really equal. technocactus seems to struggle a little bit against this Tom and Jerry because he can really get the damage up again. That dynamite right there, that was a
great
move.
use of triple dynamite. We can know for sure that that's the perk he's running. Is Nawoo. A great little setup. Jerry hits him, but unfortunately gets hit with the charm. Dodges at just the right time. And he also dodges the safe at just the right time as well. But that's the problem. Tom doesn't exactly have that many aerials that can contest Bugs as well as Bugs can. So unfortunately, it will be a bit of an uphill battle for Nawoo to win these like close-up skirmishes, because eventually when the two of them are just bare knuckle and they have no access to their kit, it's just going to be down to whoever has the better normals between these two zoners. And right now, I believe Bugs wins it pretty handily, as can be seen from that victory.
Alright, but that bait from technocactus there to go off stage just to get upper special there was incredible by him, honestly. I don't know if that was just a lag issue or something, but he really kind of baited him off stage there. But Nawoo still gets the answer. I think it's stuck a little faster than last time. Yeah, that was crazy.
I feel like Nawoo now, they set up the mousetrap. The mousetrap is a bit of a bizarre move for Tom and Jerry, because it's not a terrible move, but at the same time, it doesn't see as much play as you might think. It's definitely a move. It's very situational.
Yeah, it has more options in 2v2 than 1v1, because since 2v2 is more chaotic and there's more projectiles, more everything happening, so they might not see it, but
I've heard
Currently, right now, looking the damage is
I've
really,
definitely
really
heard a bit more of the
good.
opposite. So
Oh, actually.
yeah, actually.
Oh.
But I feel like that's more so because Tom and Jerry, as a character, feel like, in comparison to the rest of the cast, are so self-sufficient that you can get away with just sort of playing them. Oh, and that's an awful, awful thing to have happen to you.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
for those who don't know, Jerry has a thing in this game where if he gets hit on the side of a platform, he'll rebound off of it. So even something as flat as the platforms as here, Jerry can fly off and potentially just die instantly with no fault of Tom's own, frankly. And that just leaves Nawoo in a very tricky situation, having to deal with. And that was almost death, and that was almost death. But it's not impossible, especially if they get down air. Unfortunately not, though. And
Technocactus is
again,
on that
Jerry is
DK
gone.
there. Technocactus is on that DK with that
and
move there,
that
and
is a kill from the safe.
that was such an unfortunate save, honestly. But Technocactus gets the win again.
I mean,
Honestly,
Techno did well to just plan the save that Nawoo just forgot about it, because